Imagine you have a critical server. It's loud. It pumps out a ton of heat. And you definitely don't want to sit next to it.
Right. You want it in a server room, a secure, climate-controlled vault somewhere else.
Exact. But here's the problem. You still need to control that machine, but from maybe 600 feet away.
Which is what? The length of 2 football fields.
Yeah. And you need absolutely zero lag.
And you can't just run a really long monitor cable. Physics just sort of gets in the way.
How far can you even go with a standard one?
With a VGA cable.
Yeah.
You start losing signal integrity after maybe 15, 20 feet. It gets ugly fast.
So today we're doing a deep dive into the specific hardware that bridges that exact gap. We're looking at the NTI ST-C5KVM-600.
It's a device designed to solve this exact long-distance relationship problem between you and your computer.
And specifically for legacy machines, this is not HDMI and USB we're talking about.
No, not at all. We are dealing with VGA video and PS2 ports.
Those old school round connectors with the pins. Wow. Which brings us to our mission. We want to figure out how this thing sends those, those fragile analog signals over 600 feet of standard Ethernet cable.
And ultimately why this little industrial brick costs around $640.
That's a steep price tag.
It is if you just see it as an adapter. But the engineering is where the cost is. It's a KVM extender keyboard, video, mouse.
And it's made up of 2 boxes, right?
Right. You have a local unit you plug into the server and then a remote unit that sits at your desk.
And the magic trick is the medium it uses?
CT5 cable.
The same blue networking cable that's already running through the walls of pretty much every office building.
That's the smart part. You use the infrastructure that's already there. But, and this is a huge deal, it's not sending network data. It's not using IP packets like the internet.
So if I plug this into my network switch, what would happen?
Nothing good. It's using the copper inside that CT5 cable to create a direct electrical extension of the original signal.
Okay, that's where I start to get a little skeptical. Analog VGA signals are so sensitive. At 600 feet over twisted pair wire, shouldn't the image just be a blurry mess?
Usually, yes. You get what's called ghosting, where the image trails or color separate because the different frequencies travel at slightly different speeds.
But NTI makes this pretty bold claim. They say this unit offers the sharpest and clearest VGA quality of any manufacturer.
And they back it up with the resolution numbers. It can do 1920 by 1440.
That's higher than standard 1080p HD. Getting that kind of resolution clean across 600 feet of thin wire sounds, well, it sounds incredibly difficult.
It is. The box has active circuitry inside that compensates for the length of the cable. You can actually tune it.
Wait, you mean you can adjust it?
Yeah, there's a video quality adjustment dial and even a built-in test pattern, so you can literally dial in the sharpness until those ghosts are gone.
So you're paying for the signal processing. But I think the real industrial value, the reason this isn't a factory, not my gaming setup, is something they call the dual user feature.
You're not just moving the control, you're duplicating it. An IT admin can be standing right next to the server rack using the local unit.
While the main operator is working from the control room 600 feet away on the remote unit.
Exactly. Collaboration without crowding the server room.
But there's another feature I saw, something called Keep Alive emulation. To me, that sounds like the most critical piece of the puzzle, the thing that really justifies the price.
Oh, it really is. You have to remember, these are legacy systems, older Windows, Solaris, even Mac OS 9.
Right.
In our modern USB world, we're just used to plug and play. You unplug a mouse, you plug it back in, and it just works.
But with those old PS2 ports, if you unplugged the mouse while the computer was on...
The computer panicked. It would often halt the entire boot process. You'd get a keyboard error, and it would just stop.
Or the whole operating system would just freeze up.
Completely. So this NTI unit is essentially lying to the computer.
In a good way.
In the best way possible. It emulates the keyboard and mouse presence 100% of the time. Even if the cable gets cut or the remote unit loses power, the server thinks everything is still connected and fine.
It prevents the crash.
It prevents the crash.
So that's the insurance policy. You're paying for the guarantee that a loose cable doesn't bring down your entire factory floor.
That and the build quality. It's TAA, compliant for government use, has built-in surge protection. It's designed to be mounted on a rack and just ignored for a decade.
Speaking of decades,
Yeah.
the compatibility list is a real trip down memory lane. Windows 2000, Sun Solaris, FreeBSD.
It feels like a piece of what you might call zombie tech.
What do you mean?
Hardware that just refuses to die because it's too important, too embedded in critical infrastructure to be replaced It bridges the gap.
It lets you keep that 20-year-old machine running, but manage it from a modern, comfortable office. So, okay, here's the takeaway for me. We tend to get obsessed with cloud computing, with wireless everything. But when the stakes are high, when you need zero latency and absolutely zero chance of a crash.
We still rely on copper. There's a certain comfort in a physical wire that the cloud just can't match.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In a world that's always chasing the newest, fastest wireless standard, why is it that true, reliable control still requires being physically hardwired to the machine? Is that leash actually the only thing keeping us in charge?
That is a very good question to think about.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you on the next one.